G'day folks, Marcus Ryan here with Fringe Diary from Sunday the 18th of August in Edmonton. Today started off with a 3:15 p.m. show of Walk This K, and it was sold out. It was my first sold out show for that venue, over 90 people in the room. The energy was amazing. It was an emotional show. I had people coming up afterwards who were just loving it. I had some really great reviews from audience members. Couldn't have been happier with how that one went. About half hour later, I went across to the beer tent and did another promo spot where I promoted my shows and then handed out a few little flyers. Number 2 gig for the day, but there was like a 90-second gig, so there wasn't much going on there. Then I went and did a 7:30 p.m. version of Marcos, and while I was on the way there, I found out the show was sold out, so that was cool. Again, another sold out show, second sold out show for Marcos, and that's only 2 shows that I'd done of that one. The energy, it was really cool in the room, very hot though, temperature wise, so we've decided that we need to get a fan put in there, so that's going to happen from now on. Yeah, a really fun show. We got through it, except for the fact that my remote wasn't working, and so I had to get the tech to do all the slides. I think there was someone in the way vision wise. I'm not sure how it worked, but it didn't affect the show. And people enjoyed it. Straight after the show, I went across to the Empress Ale House, where I would then do my 4th gig for the day. And by this stage, I was pretty bloody exhausted. But I got on, I did a 7-minute spot, absolutely nailed it because I was in the mood, you know. I'd been on stage 3 different times that day, during the day, and so by the time you do your 4th gig, it's just flowing, and I was on fire. So I had a really fun gig there, promoted myself pretty well. I don't know if anyone's going to come because of it, you never know, but people loved what I did for that little spot. Straight after that gig, it was now getting close to 10 o'clock, and so I went in and watched a show called Girl Brain, a sketch show in my same venue, in a different room, but in the same building. And then at 11 o'clock, I started walking home, and then something happened, which you might find interesting. A guy who was in my show Marcos about 3 hours earlier, who had said well done on the way out, he just happened to be randomly walking past me on White Avenue, and he came up and he said this to me. He goes, "Oh, I really liked your show," and then he leant in and said, "So, would you like a blowjob?" And he offered me oral sex on the street, 11:30 midnight. Now it's raining, by the way. I've got my jacket on. I'm trying to get home, and I just get propositioned for a blowjob on the street. And I said, "Oh, that's nice, but no thanks. But could you at least tweet about the show and use the hashtags or something? That's nice of you." Now, I don't know if anyone's ever been offered a blowjob for their job. Who's not a sex worker, or whatever. But for someone who liked me that much that he would offer to give me a blowjob, I thought, wow, that's the equivalent of 5 stars right there, ladies and gentlemen. So that's pretty damn hilarious that I was offered oral sex by someone who liked my show. Please don't just tell your friends about the show. You don't need to touch my penis.